Good morning. Welcome, Charlie and Kate from Emily's.
Hello.
How are you?
Good morning.
How are you doing? Good morning. You all right?
Yeah, all right. Sun shining. Nice morning.
It is a lovely morning. We've been lucky. I think we've been
Very blessed.
Yeah, really lucky.
We're here today just to talk about how the last few weeks have been. Really, just from a small business angle. Obviously, it's been tough for a lot of people out there, and it's changed dramatically from the first couple of weeks when when we're into lockdown and not really know what's going on to now, really. So I just wanted to get an idea of sort of your journey, really, how it's been for you.
I think that's right. I think there were several phases. There was the phase before lockdown when we could kind of see it all happening. Or the potential for it happening,
which was awful.
Really,
final week was terrible,
and it was very hard. And it was hard on the team because everyone was coming in and talking about it. And at the end of the day, I think they were just, bless them, they were all quite trained about having just talk about the same thing and keeping a positive attitude on it. And we didn't know what was going to happen, and I think that I can't remember whether the furlough had been announced by that stage or not.
And we were all desperate for Boris to force us to close, weren't we?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And there was a period where we'd not been told to close, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. There was the first week.
Desperate not to go out.
Exactly. There's the first week when our wonderful Prime Minister told everyone to stay away from places like ours, but I'm not going to give cafes and pubs and restaurants any money to help you cover the gap. So
you were still thinking. So at that point, you were still having to think about how to pay your staff and look after your staff.
Yeah,
we were. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of a really weird, very surreal time, actually, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. And then we had the day after we were told to close. We had a big kind of fire sale where we sold off all our spare stock at cost price to people, and that was a strange day. Kind of felt like the end of the world, and people kept saying, "We'll see you on the other side." It seemed to be the phrase that the phrase that kept coming out. And then we were in this. I guess the next phase was really until money started to come through from the government.
That was a good thing. That for everybody was a bit of a breather, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but up until that point, it was that was the worst time. It was
a long, scary month.
It was frankly horrendous, and and we wanted really hard to kind of do the right thing for our team. That was absolutely the key priority, wasn't it? And you started doing calls with them every week.
Yeah.
Zoom calls with all of the team or anyone who wanted to join in, which actually was all of them actually.
Yeah.
And we did that every week to just kind of check in with them and make sure they're okay. But in terms of paying them, it was really difficult because we wanted to keep the funds going, but obviously having just come out of winter, we didn't have a stock of cash. It was the bank account was looking pretty dry, and we had to dig very deep. We had to borrow money, frankly, to pay their wages to start with, until the furlough money came through. And meanwhile there was all those other costs which are piling in, still carrying on. We did quite well to kind of push away many of our costs, or defer them, or put them on hold, or something, at least not to kind of for it to damage the cash flow during this period of lockdown.
I know you mentioned to me in past. I should say Charlie and Kate live across the road from me, which we can kind of wave at each other, which is still quite strange that they were not doing. But I know from seeing you in passing, I know you mentioned about the rent for the building itself.
Yeah,
that was an issue back in the day. Is that still an issue now?
We weren't able to get any kind of deferment or reduction or any kind of concession on our rent with our landlord, unfortunately. That still might happen, but for the March payment, which came 2 days after lockdown, for this quarter, of which we've obviously now been locked down, we weren't able to get any concession, unfortunately. but our landlord's a reasonable guy, and I think he will. We need to have another conversation with him prior to the next rental thing. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So all your staff are furloughed at the minute. You guys are not there. The cafe's closed. Yeah. And I know you said that you haven't opened for takeaways as yet.
No, that's right.
No.
And we decided that we thought about opening kind of takeaway for the first few days, but then we saw other places trying it for a couple of days and then not doing it, stopping it. And I think you very much, Kate, led the feeling that we didn't want to do something that might be not the right thing to do as far as spreading the virus was concerned, and to be seen to be not doing the right thing as well. But
that was a big thing, wasn't it, to be seen to be doing the right thing at the time?
I mean, we wanted to play our part. We wanted to, not be the people that busted the lockdown and spread the virus. And I know other places have done it, and the Rising Sun have done really well with it, and well done to them. And Sam's have kept their takeaways going, and the Hub boxes kept their takeaways going, which has been really good.
They've now got those processes in place where they can do it safely.
Because I think they all had quite a big chunk of time, didn't they, where they all fully closed down.
Absolutely. The time needs to feel right for us to be open.
Oh,
we need to get all the safety stuff in place. There's a lot of processes. Our space is really small, so we're going to struggle to get any staff back and be able to socially distance them. So that's a big thing to try and get our heads around, and we're not really kind of any closer to that yet. But we've been able to use this time to spruce up the cafe and give it a good lick of paint and get it ready for.
Past you seen you hard at work.
Yeah, absolutely. Get ready for the time that we can open, which hopefully won't be too much longer.
If you did reopen, it would be obviously without your staff to start with.
Initially,
take away, because I take it's not going to bring enough revenue in to cover wages from just doing takeaways. So it would just be you guys to start off with.
Yeah, I think so.
So and as of today, which is the 26th of May. Bozo last night announced that retail could open from the 15th of June.
15th, yeah.
So we're thinking that's the date that we will target towards opening again for takeaway only. So we've kind of stayed closed because there aren't many people around in Truro at the moment. So if people came and bought from us, they'd be coming specially into us to buy a coffee, and we don't want to be creating that interaction that wouldn't otherwise have happened. So if and when the other shops open in town and there are more and more people around, then we'll give it a go and see what happens, and see whether there's a demand. We think there will be, but who knows? None of us knows very much about any of this right now.
I think from what I've seen, I think there'll be quite a demand for you guys. I think people are missing the coffee, missing the place.
We will see.
Yeah, we'll see. But you, I know that you've been doing a few things in between. So I know you like everybody. I mean, I feel like I've been twice as busy with the college and hospitality table. It's been mad, but squeezing that into a few hours. But I know there's a couple of really nice things I know you've been doing. Do you want to tell us about your street shop, your outside, your front door shop? How's that been going, Kate?
It's great. It's fantastic. So it's very simple. The street now are all part of a WhatsApp group, and it's quite a long street, and I still have access to all of our wholesalers. And it feels really nice to be supporting kind of the local suppliers as well still. So I'm taking orders from the street every Monday and Tuesday and delivering it back to the house on a Wednesday. And I've got my contactless card reader from work and my mobile phone, and we're able to just kind of socially distance and So I'm kind of doling out Bara cinnamon buns, you know, coming home with bagfuls of the things. And, you know, I think Truro's doing quite well from Bara at the moment.
Bara's doing quite well from Truro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, everyone's been after flour and yeast and, you know, baking stuff. So I think amazingly throughout this whole thing, I've been able to get hold of all of that. Just selling it at cost price. Just you know, it's not a money making exercise. It's been a really great way to meet all the neighbours, which, you know, in 3 years we hadn't done until now. And there's a really lovely sense of community now here. It's great, really great.
That's one thing I have enjoyed about this is for the last year since I moved into this house, I've been saying to my neighbours, we'll have to meet up, we'll have to have that drink.
Yeah.
And there's always something to do, isn't there? You always find
Absolutely.
something. Had a 3-week period where we didn't see anybody, including the neighbours, and then that was the first time we had a drink at a big distance, I might add. Them at their side of the garden, those at our side, and it was nice. So we've got a bit more community going, and there's only 4 houses, but it's the items that you are saying you were doing that from sort of early days when you.
Oh, from the first week, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we just didn't know how it was going to go, but it's been great, and it's I'd say it's starting to dwindle slightly now, and I think that's because supermarket shopping is becoming slightly easier.
Yeah.
And
what's been interesting is that the thing that has carried on, the one product that has been popular and endured all the way through has been, guess what? The Bara cinnamon buns.
All hail the Bara cinnamon buns.
Everything else has fallen by the wayside, but you know, the Bara cinnamon buns more and more. I think our street's going to be quite disappointed when we take it away, take the service away. They'll come to the cafe.
Yeah, they'll come down to the cafe.
We'll all be size of the houses. I don't know about you guys, but when this all kicked off, I was walking in the park with the kids, lifting weights and things like that. And that's gradually gone to the wayside.
Now I'm
just eating cinnamon buns.
Yeah, We've never eaten so well in our lives. We've had, you know, what's just been a joy is having the time and the brain space to plan food, think about food, cook food, enjoy food. It's been amazing.
Well, to do that for us, we do it all the time at the cafe. But you know,
we never feed ourselves
for other people.
We'll have the leftovers.
It's true. Yeah, it's been lovely. It's been really lovely. But, you know, seriously, it's been a long. What are we? Week 10 now? Is it week 10 of lockdown? Something like that. Week 9 or 10? 9.
I know it's Tuesday.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
It is. Yeah, 100%.
It's been a long time.
Tuesday? I thought it was October.
Have you seen the weather out there? Actually, we get weather in October, don't we?
No, it's not October.
But no, I've got to say one of my highlights, and probably one of Nicky's highlights, is the cinnamon buns. I'm coming and getting them from your house. It was kind of seen a bit of civilization, and then I dropped one to her house when I swapped her a cinnamon bun for her camera equipment. At a distance, obviously.
Yeah,
sanitized.
perfect.
Cinnamon buns are good currency.
They are very good currency. And do you know what? It's a small thing, but they've just been making people smile, and that's really nice.
That's it. I've got it was my colleague Hannah that introduced me to cinnamon buns up at the Cornish store up at Waitrose.
Oh yeah.
And she's been talking about them for weeks, and I thought, it's a cinnamon bun, isn't it? It's probably all right. They're immense. They're amazing. Yeah. So I think I'll need to put an order in for some more from you.
We've had people coming to Emily's saying that a big reason that they come to Cornwall for their holidays is because of the cinnamon buns.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
think it's up there with the pasty and Rick Stein as a
national treasure.
We'll make sure
treasure.
We tag the bar into this video, some free publicity for them. Maybe some free cinnamon buns next time we go past. I've got to admit, I did drive past the Bara Cafe on the Roseland a couple of days, 2-3 days ago. They're open with one in, one out, and it just seemed there was always one person going in. They're doing amazing well. Their coffee was lovely.
Really hard.
They're offering flour and things like that. So some of the basic ingredients, which is probably slightly hard to get maybe over on the Roseland. But it was just really nice. Just a little bit of, it was kind of like a little bit of civilization. So took the kids for a walk, cinnamon bun and a coffee. Lovely morning. Lovely morning. Yeah. And I know there's one other thing that you I don't know if you just I don't know how recent it is you just started, but BT. So you started doing something with BT.
We have, that's right. So there's a big call centre in town. Just in I forget the name of the street now, but big office, big BT office in town.
Next to the old LT.
Yes.
There.
Yes. Yeah. Next to the Zen Noodle Bar. And yeah, quite a few weeks ago, they asked us if we would supply lunches for them, packed lunches, because they're not obviously allowed to go out, and there's nowhere for them to go anyway and get their lunches. And I think a lot of the BT other offices around the country have got canteens, but this one doesn't. And they knew that their team were going to work really hard because they remain key workers, because obviously they're providing a really important service for the country, keeping the country, on us able to do this, for example. So they're justifiably key workers, and they wanted to provide lunches for their team. So we're doing that. We're making just packed lunches, just a sandwich and a bag of crisps and a kind of San Pellegrino, although you've been doing cakes as well. It's not a money spinner, quite frankly, but it's been great. For us, it gives us a structure to the week. And
it feels a bit of normality, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it feels like we're doing something to kind of help the national effort. It's not, they're not nurses, but they're still doing a great job, and it's good to be doing something.
They're still going in every day, aren't they? It's a very important job.
Absolutely. Right.
No, I think for me that's one thing that's been really good from all this is watching how hospitality businesses have diversified. I mean, the level of help that I've seen people give. The kindness, generosity towards people that are out there, in key work positions. We've seen hospitality businesses going to look after care homes, giving free meals to NHS on a large scale, and that's everyone from Paul Angel down to you guys, across to canteen, just every single business across Coleman. It's been lovely, really nice to see.
Good.
Yeah. I suppose it kind of offers us some way of keeping going. I mean, like the college and hospitality table, we've been filming tutorial videos for our online learning for our students and apprentices, and now we've given those to all of the schools as resources, because they were crying out for resources to help their kids online. And for us, that's kept us going, really. Sort of finding our place, something helpful to do, because we are still a big part of hospitality, and we like looking after people, really. It's customer service at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good job.
It's very important. Future plans. I know that's quite a strange thing to say at the minute. Obviously, everything that's happening. But I suppose you
future plans. Well, we're going to have a coffee in a minute, and then just see how it goes. Really, I mean, I can't plan any more than that. So future plans. So it's 26th of May today. We're probably looking at opening again for takeaway only, as we said. In line with when the non-essential retail, as Boris 15th of June. So we'll probably look at opening around that sort of date. See how that goes, and so that will be coffee and again the famous cinnamon Bara buns and our own brownies that we make, and our own muffins that we make. So. So we'll be opening for those. We'll have a table in the door, and a sheet of perspex across the door, so that we'll really keep some good distance from people, and so just be takeaway only and just with us, because we're obviously living together, so we can we're not introducing any new households. So we'll really kind of do it as much as we can, do as much as we can with the resources that we've got. And And then I think, you know, if we can kind of characterize it as kind of just turning the tap on bit by bit, very, very gently, from a drip to something a bit more, and, you know, hopefully work up to full gush by next Easter. But it's going to take that long, we feel, to get back to a full gush. Then, you know, at some point we'll probably look at opening our garden when we can, when we're allowed to. So in our garden we've got booths which are already built, and they're open at the top, but we can probably, if we close them off at the top, then they'll be properly separate in between each booth. So they'll be properly separated. One booth will be properly separated from another. So that will give us a little bit of space, and hopefully that might be enough to provide enough social distancing. It's going to be more of a worry from when we open than it is now, because we know what now looks like, and there's a good deal of government support. What's going to be more worrying is when we reopen and the costs start to return, and just those whole economics of whether we can get enough people through our doors whilst also keeping them apart and keep enough money coming in to give us the stock of cash that we need to see us through the winter. And quite frankly, we don't know if that's the case. And we're just going to have to see how it goes. But there will have to be some more government support, I think, for hospitality businesses. I know UK Hospitality are lobbying the government about this, and I know the FSB, Federation of Small Businesses, lobbying the government about this. But there is going to have to be more support, because I think the more difficult time is going to be for businesses in seasonal locations during the winter, because we've had all this time not building up our stock of cash for the winter, and it's going to be that's going to be difficult.
I don't think everybody realises that even Truro, which is a little city, is still seasonal.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys you're open all year round, and you have a steady flow, but you have a bigger flow of people, and obviously in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we take, in the summer months, we take 50 to 60% more than we do in the winter months. It's
a big. So we've been hearing from a few hotels recently from around here. I know obviously the government is saying to start opening from the 4th of July. We are getting confirmation, obviously, that a few of the hotels and a few of the big ones down here are obviously looking at that date. But we were saying earlier when we were talking that they are obviously looking at similar things as what you are, trying to keep people separate, and it will be difficult in that time. And some of the big they've had hard times over the last few months. But hopefully when they do open, that'll hopefully have an impact on you guys. Hopefully that's bringing people into the area. And I know some people are not looking forward to that big influx of people, but it's going to be important, isn't it?
One of the things that I think is a worry for hospitality is when customer service is so key to your business and you really care about it. What kind of atmosphere can we create, and what kind of customer service can we provide for our customers in this kind of new normal? It's going to be a real challenge, I think. Having to be stand away from people, potentially having to wear face masks. It's just, people not being able to sit near each other or share tables. It's going to be very different, and I don't know what that's going to look like.
No. I know. I saw the other day that they were looking at the 2 meter rule, and looking at sort of relaxing that and reviewing it.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things for hospitality, really, isn't it? The clue's in the name, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hospitality would like to be close, and
that's a good point, because the WHO, their guideline is 1 meter, not 2 meters. So I know that UK Hospitality are lobbying the government to make it 1 meter. Or at least even 1.5 meters would be helpful. But 2 meters is a very big distance. That means it's 4 meters from one person to the next person, and we haven't got 4 meters.
No, I mean I'm sure you like I can think of quite a few of the like small places that you have enough chairs, enough capacity it's what you need to survive, isn't it? That number of people, and have it, and also employing staff.
The whole business has been planned on that basis of the number of staff.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we're doing at the moment, is we're using this time to try and completely rethink our business model, you know, and try and plan new products and different ways of working and different ways of selling, to hopefully kind of plug some gaps.
Well, I hope. I mean, it looks like the 15th of June is the next sort of big movement, is it? I know the kids go back in. Kids go back into school next week. So, in fact, our kids are the week after. I think they're going to use next week to have training days and get, you know, some teachers back in, things like that. My little one goes back in on the 8th, so Monday the 8th. So the schools would have been back in at least a week before then. So hopefully, as time goes on, we're getting a bit more sort of used to, or we're getting more information, hopefully, on how we did it. It's
watch this space.
Exactly. I did say I was going to, towards the end, I was going to link into, so Hospitality Table Cornwall are going to do a few online videos with Suzanne, who's one of our course writers. She's getting people in from the council, real experts on funding and risk assessments. So anything HSE, just so we can give sort of up-to-date guidance, really, sort of get it out there. Because I know not every, from some of the businesses that we help train, we know that not everybody knows that those tools are quite easily accessible on the internet. So you can find up-to-date risk assessments, but I mean, those kind of old risk assessments, you know, we want to know if they're still, you know, if we can still use those, or if it's completely changed. So, you know, rather than everybody sort of guessing out there, we want to actually get the experts on to advise small businesses. So
that'd be great.
That'd be really good.
Yeah. Good. So that should be coming up in the next in next week or two, but it'll definitely happen before we all start thinking about going back on the 15th of June. For certain. We've got a couple more question and answer sessions. One where I won't say who it is now because I need to book a date in with her. It is a she, but she's going to do some question and answers on a large scale operation and the sort of, you know, the problems behind actually getting ready, because it's quite a big machine really, is opening up a hotel and, you know, having your staff ready, match fit, because everybody's been at home enjoying the sun, enjoying the cinnamon buns and the ale. So so that's going to be the next thing up. But thank you very much. It's been really helpful over the last couple of weeks, being able to speak to you guys, get an idea of, you know, what's going on out there for, you know, not only for the big places but for the smaller places as well. And just we're looking forward to seeing you back open again, to be honest.
Yeah, well, so we're
really excited.
We can't wait. Yeah. We've really missed our customers. We've really missed our team, and we love our team. And we've chosen them. We choose each person because they are the right sort of person that will kind of fit in, and that our customers will like. And then we kind of train them from there. So that you know, who they are as people is a much more important thing than what skills they bring, because we can train that. So we're really looking forward to getting back with them, and frankly, we miss our customers as well, because it's the magic. They bring the magic that makes it all happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So let's hope we can create an environment for them that will make them want to bring that magic back again.
Absolutely, I'm sure you will. But anybody who is looking for coffee and cakes and lovely food and a lovely atmosphere and fantastic customer service, Emily's in Truro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Nice
Thanks,
to
Mark.
see you.
Thank you.